Okay, so let's address a few of the comments made in my spoiler review. I got quite a lot of comments on, especially on that spoiler review. Now I admit I was a little bit incoherent because I was angry and I wanted to go through the movie as well and share my opinions of the movie while explaining to you why I thought it was bad. So I'm just gonna go through all some of the comments that are posted on the spoiler review. So Don Sharma says Ray defeats Luke. What of? Yeah, Ray does defeat Luke in the battle they had. So that did happen. Tour says awful film, awful story arc, and awful treatment of characters. Genuine to the overall. I think that's what he's supposed to mean. Fuck Disney. Taggle Waggle. Sounds like bad writing overall. What a shame, because Daisy Ridley and Mark Hamill could have been a great Jedi duo. Very depressing. Yes. I should have also clarified this regarding the movie. None of the actors were bad. All of them were pretty good. The only exception that the person just felt really out of place. I don't know if it was the directing or anything. It was Rose, just like so perky and like so happy all the time, and she just felt so out of place in that movie. She didn't feel like a real character, and yeah, and Tagwaga with the bad writing. Yeah, that's what I got. The movie just had the directing and the acting wasn't even the really bad parts of the movie. It was, quite frankly, just the writing. I don't know how Kathleen Kennedy can look at a script and just say, hey, let's have a Leia Superman, or hey, let's have these awful one-liners. Andrew O said, you know what I think this movie major flaw is? The villains. I'm sorry, but if Rey went through the cave to take on Kylo, she would have easily won. Snoke was done so badly, I'm sorry. Backstory and gone. Yeah, zero backstory and gone. Get the fuck out. There is no good villains, I'm sorry. And what the fuck is the point of Kylo Ren turning Rey to the dark side if there's if there is no longer any more Siths? The fuck did I just watch? Yeah, that's a good point as well. Like during the conversations they had, Rey saw that he would turn to the light side, and Kylo that she would turn to the dark side. And yeah, it just doesn't make like what even happens beyond 9 now, because they basically written themselves into a corner. Who is Kylo supposed to train? Like, the only option they have is the Knights of Ren, but those were the most likely the guards at Snoke's throne room. So, I mean, how is the dark and light side even gonna continue? They're gonna have to have years go past and continue the story from that way on. I mean, it was a huge mistake. It continues right off from episode 7. There, I mean, how does Kylo and Finn recover this fast? And Fantastic Grade says it's the last Star Wars movie I'm going to see. Like, I'm not gonna pay for them. Maybe, as I said, the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, that's probably Maybe I'm not gonna watch the Han Solo one. If you don't like this film, you're not a Star Wars fan, period. Okay, if you say so. The K Show 25. And Marcus W said, I just saw the movie. I would like to point out that Daisy really does a great performance here. Yeah, I agree. I think she's the best actress in this movie by far. I did not like her character in The Force Awakens, but here Rey is so funny and likable. Great acting by Driver. Hux is hilarious, but Hux is not supposed to be hilarious. Love the porgs, they are so cute, lots of great jokes and surprises. Love especially the Rose character because she's an ordinary and nice woman. She and Finn make a nice normal couple I can really relate to. Just like there seems to be a lot of sexual tension between the superheroes Kylo and Rey. But the problem is the whole story is not going anywhere from now on. Just like Marvel, like franchise, like any other. Disney's cash cow, no big revelation about Rey's origins, balance of the Force, Snoke is pointlessly wasted. The whole overall Resistance First Order plot does not work. Yes, and I mean they teased, they teased the whole Benicio del Toro thing of like a third party. They will sell their weapons to someone else. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think Rose was just too perky, in my opinion. She should have got other directions. Like, the character concept, I don't have any issues with. It's how it was executed. And everyone else, I mean, the actors are not the problem. Neither in Force Awakens, the actors were not the problem. It's the story. Someone says it's the worst. Many people say it's the greatest, the best. I think it's in the top 3 or 4. I mean, Noob Fury, that's your opinion. This is my opinion. I mean, if you think it's good, I mean, fantastic. If other people can enjoy it and just get something out of it. And yeah, someone said I lied watching this. No, I didn't. What's up with the dislikes? I know the Go spoke difficulty at times, but I watched the film and I wanted to watch the reviews to see what other thoughts. And this guy is absolutely right. This film was the definition of a mismatch. Like, yeah, I admit I was incoherent at times, but it's because I was angry. I had just watched the movie and I wanted to give a raw review of the movie, not a heavy edited clip, because I don't think, I mean, people may not like the way I did this, but I would rather be genuine than fake by cutting all the time and censoring myself. So Matt Engel, for example, says I made it 3 minutes into the video. Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Yeah, I mean, I speak like this is my first language, as you can hear. This is my third language. So I mean, forgive me sometimes if the same cucumbers, I think. Nice wordplay. Drinking game, take a shot every time he says main character's name says A or A, takes a gulp, or when you don't understand what he's saying. Yeah, well, I can take that criticism. This isn't a fucking review. This is just you saying the whole story. I can barely stand you speaking because you keep breathing down your mic. And hitting it when it takes those stupid gulps. You also have no taste in what a good movie is. You probably never watched anything Star Wars related from the movies. That's why you can't understand. If you say so, dude. I watched all of them a lot of times. Probably 200 times or something. I mean, I've seen them quite a lot. So I don't know where you're coming from with this cucumbers. Don't even start with the coincidence of Finn and Rose being in the same cell as the thief, a thief who happens to have a massive knowledge of the Snoke. Yeah, that's another plot line. That's a good observation, Brett Lawrence Patricio. How is it suddenly they just happen to be in the same cell as that guy, and how why doesn't it actually turn out to be the guy with the rose on his jacket? Like that's the whole thing. I mean, Maz Kanata was very specific, saying it's this guy with the rose on his jacket, and it's not. I mean, okay. Just saw it. Not a good film. Good parts, but oddly muddled, and in parts pointless. Yeah. If there's a TLDR, yeah, that's been worst spoiler review ever. Yeah, man, I can take criticism. I was so hyped for this, and I thought it would be better than The Force Awakens, which I love. Within minutes, I thought I was watching a parody. Maybe 30 minutes of good scenes out of the whole movie. It was genuinely awful, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Yeah, like I said, there are good parts of this movie, and just otherwise, there are so many lows. I mean, even the flashback scene. I mean. That is a good scene, and how it was performed, but otherwise it's just, yeah. I mean, it has higher highs than The Force Awakens, but also lower lows, as I said. Jesus fucking Christ, yeah. Okay. Darth Sank, this is a little bit longer comment. I just want to kill everything old and create something new. Paraphrase of Kylo's rationale for killing Han. Gee, Kylo's quote here perfectly describes the folks that wrote this movie. Yeah, they just want to kill what Lucas created, because that's I mean, you even had the first quote in the Force Awakens, which was me interpreting it as basically shitting on the movies. So at least the first 6, or at least the first 3, if anything. If this is what's new, then I'm done with Star Wars. It's clear that whoever wrote this film has no understanding of Star Wars and this trilogy, and has no coherent direction. I mean, I don't even know what this movie was going for. Yeah, and the coherent direction. I mean, yeah. It's especially vexing, given the hypocrisy of the constant lampooning of Legends by the story group for its flaws. Then they make this flick and can't even give a coherent reason for Snoke, and utterly regressed all of the original trilogy characters' growth for the sole purpose of putting Kylo and Rey over. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the only reason Luke was basically there was to hype up Rey. There wasn't anything really substantial. I mean, the whole movie, he's just grumpy. He has regressed, and in the end, he just says, "Oh, Rey's the future." That's like in wrestling when some old legend loses to a new guy. Just look at this. He's the best. There's definitely something egotistical when a writer shows blatant disregard for the character, accomplishes of the original player in the narrative, Luke, Han, and Leia, only to worship their pet creations. Once the rose-tinted glasses fade, this movie will be divisive at best, and likely rightfully hated by many of the original fanbase for utterly annihilating the legacy and themes of the series, to push an abusive relationship with paper-thin villains and the Mary Sue now confirmed. His father, mother, uncle can't bring him to the light, but perhaps his dick can. What a great... Yeah, I actually didn't think about that. So the only one that actually got through to Kylo Ren was Rey, because Luke, Han, and Leia could never, and she was the closest one to actually. I mean, this again just shows her. She's just incredible. There is no terminology for this. It would be insulting to call this fan fictions. Fiction, since some of it is actually good. Yeah, again. It's incomprehensible to me that they would do this, but perhaps Disney has figured out that pissing off fans somehow makes it more likely they'll watch these films. I really hope they don't fuck with the old Republic era and the rest of Legends stays untouched rather than tarnished by these inept greedy right. I mean, they have said that these things aren't even canon. So yeah, the old Republic and Legends aren't even canon anymore. So they won't even touch the stories that are written there. And the new trilogy, the director of this movie, Rian Johnson, said this new trilogy is not gonna be old Republic. And I totally agree with you about all of this, Darth Sanctus. It's incomprehensible to me why they would do this. No, it's actually not. It's just because of the money. That's why. But perhaps Disney has figured out that pissing off fans somehow makes it more likely they'll watch these films. I think they are washing down these movies because they want a broader audience. And I mean, the hardcore fans have never really given them all the money, even though most people or the hardcore fans watch the movies several times and buy merchandise, but they obviously want the broader audience, and they'll watch these films. I really hope they don't fuck with the old Republic era and the rest. Yeah, tarnished by these inept and greedy. Yeah. You get an award for the last Jedi rant by a whiny home on YouTube. Why, thank you. This is, without a question, the most skin-titillating YouTube video I've ever watched. Moving images, who needs those when we can listen to your halting, lethargic description of the plot? Please keep making videos like this. Don't ever change the winning formula. I'm enthralled. Look, if you don't like it, I'm basically a nobody. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. I don't make any money off YouTube. I have a life on the side, so I don't really have 12 hours a day to make animations and things like that when I do these videos. So I mean, I make basically cents, some cents each month, and that's there's no reason for me to basically spend several days to animate anything, just because you want something to watch. I mean, I'm not Red Animator. I don't do this full time. I don't even do this part time. So I mean, if you don't like it, you can watch anyone else and get what you want. I'm just sharing my opinions on this. So, Louis the Human, that's what I got to say to you. I just can't believe, this is John Murphy, I just can't believe the atrocities of this movie and how they destroyed Luke Skywalker, his character, everything about him. I knew Mark Hamill was serious every time he said that he disagreed with everything the world wrote about this character, and everyone said always just that saying that no, I could see it on his face when I was at the celebration this year. He knew that we would all be very pissed at the outcome of this movie, making him the reason that Ben Solo turns and destroys the temple. The decisions made by him are outlined. Yeah, that I said this in the review, that makes no sense for his character. He was never had any indications of being. He was frightened in episode 5 during that cave scene, but he was never really wanted to just. I mean, the entire thing of the throne room in episode 6 is he didn't want to kill someone, so he was better in that regard, even to Yoda and Obi-Wan, making him. Well, sorry, I guess they are destroying the Jedi that made Star Wars what it is. All this build up, and we got nothing from this movie but disappointment. And Snoke just gets killed off in the stupidest fucking way in his unknown region acolytes. None of this gets explained why they all get blown the fuck up. I mean, what the fuck is episode 9 going to be about? Yeah, that's what I said. What the fuck is that movie gonna be about? And who the fuck was even Snoke to begin with? Why was he so powerful? What was the point of him? Will Luke and Snoke even be in it? Oh no, that's right. Mary Sue and Kylo Ren are going to fall in love and take over the galaxy, right? I'm still in shock about what I just watched. I cannot believe they wasted Luke Skywalker as Snoke. Yeah. My thoughts exactly. They just wasted the two strongest characters in the universe, in the Star Wars universe, and just killed them off. Admiral Akbar, it's a trap guy. Yeah, Ray Solisa. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. Fucking Ryan Johnson is the one who wrote these, which of course all goes for Rey being a Mara Sue. So of course Kathleen Kennedy is going to eat that up, and that's why he's going to do the next trilogy of movies. I guess he's down for just taking it up the ass from the rest of it, from the rest of it. Yeah, I mean, are you the guy that Destiny invited recently? No, I've never spoken to Destiny. Either in text form or in audio form. Excellent review. This movie is a complete train wreck. The incoherent stupidity of the writing is unforgivable. I mean, that's what I tried to talk about in the spoiler review. Emilio Marchi about the movie. This is not how the Force works. About the Gungan who wrote the script, I found a lack of faith is disturbed. Yeah. First of all, how can Yoda summon lightning when he's a ghost? How can Luke project himself? How can Rey just lift all those rocks just suddenly? I mean, she hasn't had any training since episode 7, 8. She had one day. Oh my god, this guy could be reading all of those world secrets, i.e. truth on ghosts, aliens, and who really killed JFK, and I would still shut him off. Worst speaker ever. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not feeling that well. I mean, I have a sore throat, so that's why I had to do some drinking during it. But anyways, let's see, next comment. This is an interesting comment from Utah. While this guy complains about bad writing, when it's obvious he can't understand a story unless everything is spelled out for him. I respect that he didn't like the movie and he is entitled to his own opinion. Yeah, as are you. But my god, there's so much that he just didn't see because it was not in the dialogue. Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like he likes the prequels. I can see why. Because the prequels, everything was literally spelled out in dialogue. Basically. By the way, he's mad they killed all of Luke and Han Solo. Carrie Fisher is dead. Who knows how long Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill has to live. Ever heard of the passing torch? And who said Luke Skywalker is out of the picture, for Christ's sake? Yoda is still there and he died in Empire. Obi-Wan died in New Hope. He's still in Return for Empire. So the Unreal, you want to go home and rethink your life. So let me address. I want them to show things. I don't want them to tell me things, and I want them to be consistent. And I prefer the prequels to these two films because I think they're better and more original. I mean, I don't like 1 and 2 as the best movies in Star Wars lore. I don't. I thought that they are a low point, but I still appreciate what they did, and think those two movies are superior in what we got here. And regarding passing the torch, they could have done this in a way much better way than they did. Han didn't pass the torch. Who did they pass the torch to? Or who did Luke? Basically, he just, in wrestling terms, he was basically jobbing to Rey. He basically, oh, she's the one. Okay, why? Yeah, that. I mean, I responded to him, so let's see. This review is great because of this guy's shock. I can't stop laughing. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much why it's so incoherent. Thank you, dude. Best review on YouTube. Well, thank you, Baba16. Yes, they chopped up the whole thing. Everybody held so dear in one movie. All of your heroes are dead now, and one movie left to go. Did you like their send-offs? I didn't. Who cares what happens to these people? I still don't know. And one movie left to go. Yeah. How are they gonna handle Leia? It's gonna be a disaster. How did George Lucas like this movie? I have a feeling Hamill will come out completely against this movie after it's made its money. I mean, he already did that. He said they should have listened to Lucas. Write a fucking script, man. Jeez. I mean, yeah, that's a valid criticism. Emile Delahaye. Holy fuck, listening to you mumble and swallow and like fucking lick your lips makes me want to die. Okay. I mean, you could just stop listening. But I can take criticism. Out with the old, in with the new. And that's basically the Disney mantra at this moment. Love this. A lot of great comments. I felt weird and unsure after seeing this last night. Like The Force Awakens a few years ago. But your comments really crystallized the terrible decisions made by Disney. I think should say that. And poor adaptation of Lucas content in The Last Jedi. The creators are so obsessed with twists and reveals that so rarely do plot points and characters have any purpose in both episodes 7 and 8. Well, I can understand when someone kind of has an opinion that they are not sure about, like James Cullen here, and says that reading comments, kind of making their own opinion is a good thing. And yeah, if you got something out of this video, then great. That's awesome. Danny Sudik. If you're a true Star Wars fan and uninterested observer, you must agree that The Last Jedi is, except for some cheap jokes and Finn plus that ancient Garamus, just something awesome. I've been waiting for this movie to come out since I watched The Force Awakens. I had expected something great just because of this amazing second trailer, but what I get today is something completely let me in wonderment. All those battle scenes, deep talks, explanation, plot twists, amazing performances of all the actors. I have no words of that would say how I feel, but for me, this movie has become the best in the entire Star Wars saga. I mean, that's great, dude. If that's your opinion and you think that movie was the best one, I mean, great. I can't bash on you for saying that this is a a bad movie. That's your opinion. I mean, my opinion is that this is just a horrible movie. This guy is so hard to listen to. Okay, thanks for the comment, George Christopher. So this is how Star Wars died, with thunderous applause. Great quote. Rest of you ever shake my fucking head at this guy. Yeah, okay. Removing everything that's old, so Kylo is going to destroy Disney. That's a good comment. Just doesn't feel like Star Wars at all. Bizarre humor and strange moments like Luke sucking on a sucking alien sea lion titty. Yeah, that just felt so out of place. I mean, Luke has been a little bit like nerdy and very naive at times, but it's never been like straight out slapstick. Plus the dialogue makes no sense. Why would Darth Vader be highly regarded still by Snoke? Yeah, that's a good point. How does he even know who Vader is? Like, who is Snoke? Vader really didn't do shit for the dark side, and then ultimately killed the Emperor and was a traitor to the dark side. Yeah, still, it makes no sense. Star Wars is dead for me. Fuck you, Disney. If 9 is just the emo Ren and Rey, sounds like bait and switch of the background reading material from comics. The Rey publishing an actual movie narrative. I mean, I was expecting coming into this movie and Rey turning to the dark side, and I mean, I thought that Rey was gonna attack Luke in some weakened state, and that Kylo, being a Skywalker, being a balance of the Force, actually turning and saving Luke. Yeah, anyways. Last Jedi is just plain terrible. This movie is a trap, yeah. I mean, he died in the end. Admiral Akbar. The feeling is mutual. This movie sucks. Come on, Supreme Leader with that ridiculous death. Stupid. I wasn't going to listen to the spoilers. Now that I have, I'm sick. I agree they screwed up the original series. I watched all these old plot leaks. Even worse, one was better than this one. I guess it would be Rey versus Kylo. Disney really screwed up. This movie is fine if it wasn't original, but they screwed with all the history of Star Wars. Yeah, I mean they crapped on it. This was James MC. Kaiser94, congrats, you're the first one to come through the promotional videos that every other internet critic in YouTube is doing. In the past, they have some resemblance of principles. Now, at days, they let that Disney pay them off, and they just justify themselves because they are original Star Wars fans. I mean, that's a nice feedback. I mean, I'm just some random dude sitting here and giving my opinion, and I was fortunate enough to actually watch it as one of the first people in the world, except for the people who watch it on the premiere. I mean, official premiere. Fuck Disney, Star Wars, yeah. With a nice finger. Kira Kritsky. George Lucas should have kept his movies, continued the stories. He would have made a better story than main movies. Yeah, I agree. I love your review. It's exactly our experience. Thanks for the view. Ishmael Barnes. Hayden Christensen is somewhere laughing at all the Disney disappointment. Shake my head. Yeah, I mean, I said this. Jaja looks normal compared to all these jokes. I mean, the sea lion scene where basically Luke sprays green milk on all over his face. It's just, what the fuck? Good review, man. Go visit the channel World Class Bullshitters. They also hate Disney Star Wars like crazy. Damn, that movie, that film seems so dumb. I made a good decision not to see it. I mean, I can say, in my opinion, if you have any similar opinions compared to me, you don't watch this. I can only say from my experience. I mean, these are spoilers. So if you even though after all this you want to go watch the movie, I mean, go watch the movie. I can't stop you. Serge Kent says it was not well, I think it was okay, but it was better than Force Awakens. Almost no PC bullcrap, actual narrative tools used, not so much nostalgia pandering. Too long, some characters tried to be polished. They tried, it could be worse, to be honest. Yeah, they could have killed off Ray could have killed off Luke on the planet. I mean, yeah, there's always stuff you could have made it worse, but that's actually not really good argument when you say, oh, it could have been worse. That's not a scathing good review of a movie, is it? I mean, Rey is still a Mary Sue. If Luke dies in this, then fuck this film. Only thing I want to know. Good review by someone who totally understands Star Wars as George Lucas created it and intended it. Your canon is the same as mine. 6 and Rogue plus the amazing EU. Yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it. A part of a quote original created by the Disney critic completely expresses my feelings. Yeah, it's basically a quote. You can read the comments for yourself. I'm 45. I've waited a long time to see Luke shine. In the early 90s, when I first heard Lucas was going to make Star Wars movie, I wanted to see the original cast, Luke mostly, come back and find Thrawn. We got the prequels and I was fine with it, but I'm very excited but disappointed to not see the original cast. Force Awakens hits and I'm super excited to finally see the original cast, and well, you know what we got. Luke is dead, and so I'm done with Disney Star Wars. I mean, I feel for those who are even older than me, who have wanted so bad for Luke Skywalker to unleash his powers, and he goes out like this. It's just sad. I mean, there are people who have waited way longer than I have. Stop, it was an amazing movie. Okay. This movie is following the plot holes and dire new characters from The Force Awakens. It simply isn't Star Wars as Lucas would have continued it. It's commercial exploitation that people are blindly falling for. It's also full of ridiculous beyond fantasy rubbish. For example, Starkill Base, impossible physics. Yeah, made no fucking sense. A Millennium Falcon coming out of light speed 100 feet above a planet's surface in The Force Awakens. Leia surviving in the cold vacuum of space in this one. I could go on and go on. Meh. Yeah. Damn Disney and you're fucking up this Star Wars franchise. Yeah. I saw this. Yeah. I tweeted it out that I was gonna be. Yeah, that's basically all the comments for now. If you really want to talk to me about even the movie, I mean, I can do a stream about this if we really want to. But I just wanted to clarify a few things and actually address some of the critics or criticism and the critics I got during the last. I was angry, but a little bit incoherent, so I get that. So even thanks for watching this this video. So thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time.